Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. Every week we've got a new guest, some leader in the community, either a business leader or a chamber leader or somebody like that. And this week we've got the leader of the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce with us, Casey Cloke.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for coming by and joining us.
Thanks for having me. Finally got to squeeze this visit in.
I know you're so busy.
Well, I'm still just getting acclimated, so I'm just trying to figure out what in the world I'm doing these days.
Yeah, it's like so the third time's a charm. So
That's right. That's right. That's been my motto all month, honestly, on various things.
So as you mentioned, you have just made the change. You were the director of the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce.
Correct.
And then in the last few months, you left there and you went to the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce. Did you just decide you didn't like the Lake Area Chamber of Commerce?
No, certainly not. So I love, first of all, chambers of commerce are so crucial and important to every community. And so the last 5 years, I've been over at the Lake Area Chamber as the director there and having lots of fun, meeting lots of great people. And with the news of Trish leaving the Camdenton Chamber and headed over to Lake Regional, the opportunity came about, and I live in Camdenton. My children go to Camdenton, so it only made sense to continue the chamber efforts in my own backyard.
There you go.
It was an opportunity I didn't think would happen for at least another 15, 20 years. So I wasn't really ready to make the move, but I certainly wanted to. That's
right, absolutely.
That's right.
And there's such a good group of leaders in the chambers here.
Absolutely.
Because there's more than one. I mean, you got Lake Area Chamber, which is over, basically Lake Ozark.
Lake Ozark area.
Yeah. And then you've got the Camdenton Chamber, which is Camden. You got the West Side.
Lake West Chamber covers more Sunrise Beach, Laurie. And then there's even Versailles and Eldon, which we bring them to the table on a lot of collaborative events and activities.
Okay.
We do so 5, really.
3 in the lake, close to the lake, and then a couple more outside of the lake. So that's a whole lot of chamber.
It is, but you know what, you really think about it, because that's a big question I get asked. Why are there so many chambers? Well, and I always explain it. If you look at each individual community that those chambers are placed in, those communities have different initiatives, different challenges, different successes, and so the chambers are there as an advocate to support those businesses within that community. And so honestly, what's important to Camdenton is different than Lake Ozark, and is different than Sunrise Beach. So you want your chambers focused on your direct community and helping push initiatives and just doing a lot of great work to support those members.
And that was my next question is,
I stole that from
how
you.
Different is it going from like the Lake Area Chamber, where you're basically Osage Beach, Lake Ozark, you're on the Strip, you're doing stuff there, and then you go over to Camdenton, you don't have the Strip there.
Well, we'll just say I jumped in. I started end of March, and I had 3 weeks to the Dogwood Festival, which is a big annual event that takes place. Last year, obviously, we were kind of robbed of the event because of COVID.
Right.
But it was happening this year. We had a lot of new logistics to work with, new venue, new locations for the carnival, new parade routes. So there was a lot of new things. I just jumped right in. So my first month and a half primarily of working over the Camdenton Chamber was event planning. That was it. So I'm really focused now on the chambers and our members this last couple months.
I mean, and when we think of events around here, we think of what's going on the Strip a lot of times, or Aquapalooza now at Captain Ron's and the Shootout Captain Ron's. So do you have a lot of big events in Camdenton?
Do. Not a lot, but I mean, we've got enough to keep us fulfilled within our community, but also gives us enough time to really focus on member support too. So we're not always event planning driven, which you don't necessarily want a chamber to just be focused on events. Obviously, you could be an event planner just on the side doing that. But our chamber, the Camdenton Chamber, the first event we kick off each year with is our big expo, which we hold, and it's more of a products and services showcase. So we bring in booths for businesses from all over the area to showcase their products and services to the community. And then in April, we always kick off the Dogwood Festival. And then we funnel into the fall, which we'll see, like we do a Race Across America event, or it's not really our event, but we have the official time station in Camdenton, and so the chamber assists with that setup. We bring in volunteers and donated items to welcome those racers as they're coming through town, and we do a Run for the Fallen event. The air show, the Lake of the Ozarks air show, that's a big one. Fortunately, that's every other year, so I don't have to jump right into an air show this fall. The next one is scheduled for September of 2022, but we'll start working on that actually next month. You'll see us meeting and doing all the logistics for that.
See, I learned so much on this show when I get to talk with community leaders like yourself, because my thought of Chamber of Commerce was kind of event planning, like
Yeah.
we were talking about, and that's not it at all, really.
It's a portion, but just small portion,
right.
really, if you look at the overall benefits.
So
of
what
a
is
chamber.
the purpose of a chamber of commerce? Not just yours, but
Sure,
in all the cities.
sure. So we are the facet to connect the businesses within the business community. So because a lot of confusion too lies in the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the chambers. So the way I always explain it is the chambers are there to support the businesses within the community, work with local elected officials to discuss any challenges or opportunities that are going to trickle to those said members of that chamber, whereas the Convention and Visitors Bureau, they target outside of our region. So we're kind of the internal within our community. Convention and Visitors Bureau is outside of the area.
Very smart. So you guys probably work together.
Absolutely.
But the focus is different.
You got it. We share members too, though. And in fact, a lot of our local chambers, although we mentioned there's 5 of them, several of us share the same members too, because it's not just about where your primary business is located, it's who is your service market. So if your location is in Osage Beach, but Camdenton is still a market for you, a lot of our businesses will share memberships and invest in both.
Do you have to buy a membership in each one, or
yes, because they are actual separate organizations, separate businesses.
Yep.
A lot of people, when I made the move from Lake Erie to Camdenton, they're like, "Oh, you're just changing offices." No, well, I'm learning new procedures. I'm learning new events. I'm learning new board of directors. I've got a brand new board of directors that I'm building that relationship with and being directed by. And in fact, even our membership base, although we share a lot of similar members, we have a lot of members that are right there in the heart of Camdenton that we serve that no other chamber serves.
Absolutely. All right. See, we're learning so much here. We've got Casey Cloke, who is the director of the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce, and some interesting stories of her life. We'll start getting into those momentarily right here on Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show.
There's nothing like summer at Lake of the Ozarks, and Hy-Vee and Osage Beach is your one-stop shop for your day on the boat and fun in the sun. We feature the lake's largest wine and spirits department, along with our lake-famous beer cave. And you'll want to check out our brand new Summer Fun Center with all your apparel, toys, coolers, inflatables, towables, and so much more. Hy-Vee and Osage Beach, voted the #1 grocery store in Missouri and your one-stop shop for an unforgettable day in the sun all summer long.
It's our most protective wash yet. Introducing the Quick Car Ceramic Wash. It's an industrial-grade polymer solution with ceramic nanotechnology, resulting in high-end, advanced scientific protection of your vehicle's finish. The Quick Car Ceramic Wash. Try it on its own or with the monthly Unlimited Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time. In Jefferson City and Osage Beach.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. We're coming to you this week from Slumberland Furniture. Beautiful, beautiful facility out here.
It's almost dangerous. I'm shopping really as I'm talking with you, Chris.
Yeah. So we're talking with the director of the Camdenton Chamber of Commerce, Casey Cloke. She left Lake Erie Chamber, just moved over to the Camdenton Chamber recently. A lot of people don't know it, but you've got quite a wonderful history. I mean, you kind of grew up here.
Pretty much.
I mean, was it St. Louis you were born in?
St. Louis, Oakville area. Up until freshman year of high school. We moved middle of my freshman year of high school, so it was quite the culture shock.
I bet that was a bunch of trauma.
I was not a fan of my parents at that time. I love them to death, but I was not. I'm sure I was a very difficult teenager at that transition. But we did. I moved middle of my freshman year and graduated at Camdenton R3, and so I'm a Laker graduate and purple and gold.
And then you live in, was it St. Thomas for a while?
Yes.
How did that happen?
So in my early 20s, a friend of mine had worked at a souvenir company down in the Virgin Islands, and she got the call that it was for sale, and she had that passion to run that company. And I jokingly said, hey, if you buy that, I'll move down there. And she looked at me and she said, if you will come with me, I'll do this. And, But, I was early 20s. I had nothing holding me back, no children, no other commitments. And so I said, why not?
Yeah.
And so I had a great time. I lived down there for about 7 months. Got to experience hurricane season. Holy cow, that was interesting. But it was Thanksgiving Day. I remember it so clearly. My kitchen was 110 degrees. I'm trying to make a green bean casserole because my neighbors down below me invited me to Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I had just spoken with my parents who live here at the lake and said, we had a nice dusting of snow. It's beautiful. And I'm sweating. And I'm done. I will be home before Christmas. And I sure did. I was there a week before Christmas. I moved back and haven't left and don't plan to. I love this community. I always thought I'd end up back in St. Louis, especially while I was still a teenager. But I've learned to accept, I love the city hustle, bustle atmosphere in the summer. And then in the wintertime, I certainly appreciate the quiet and time to really just reflect and catch back up.
Yeah,
So
take a
it's
breath.
Great. God, best
Although
of both
it
worlds.
seems like last winter we didn't get much time.
No,
to take
you're
a
right.
breath,
You're
so,
right. I
I
don't
mean-
know many that had that pause
Yeah.
this year. That's all right.
So you run the Chamber of Commerce in Camdenton. You left Lake area, and so when you have a big event like a shootout or an Aquapalooza that's not in Camdenton but it's in the area, how does that affect you? Do you?
So I've got the perfect example.
Okay.
This whole idea of Missouri celebrating its 200th bicentennial anniversary, I happened to be at a meeting in January that it was brought up. And that perked my interest and said, oh, this is a great opportunity to promote the lake as a whole. And because it's not always driven to Camdenton only, because I understand the trickle-down effect too, that these events outside of the city of Camdenton can really still have a positive impact.
Sure.
So when the idea of the Best Damn Birthday Bash came about, I said, I am with you. Let me know what I can do. And so I sat on the planning committee. I still sit on the planning committee, even though we're past the large boat parade, the Guinness record attempt that we tried. We still have many exciting events happening this year. And so although they're happening in different parts of the community, I'm still there to support the endeavor and promote that to our businesses and give them an outlet to even jump on that bandwagon of the Best Damn Birthday Bash and offer specials and promotions. So it's not just about events either, this particular initiative.
I think that's part of what makes this community so great, though, is, I mean,
Yes.
you don't have one town fighting against the other town,
No.
or one chamber.
There's a little
fight,
competitiveness,
But that just iron sharpens
that's
iron.
That's
kind of
right.
thing,
That's
you know.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think the mentality truly is strong that, what's good for you is good for all of us.
Yeah.
And so to remind us of that, we just
Well,
stay engaged.
Now, and you don't have the strip.
Correct.
You don't have,
I missed some of that, I
you
will
know,
say.
Aquapalooza or shootout. But I mean, people tend to forget the lake does go through Camdenton over there.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I'm sure you do things.
We see a
there,
lot of
right?
traffic through there. And, aside from our annual festivals and events like we've mentioned with the Air Show and Dogwood Festival, we do a lot of community-driven events too. And we support other community-driven events. Like we do one in December. It's the Christmas on the Square. That's been going on for I don't know how long. That's not necessarily a tourism-driven event, but that's a community support event.
for the
It's bringing
locals.
everybody together.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. I mean, it's. I think some people, not the locals, some people from the outside think it's all about the outside people.
Right.
It's
right.
not. I
It's-
mean, I know
you
there's a
gotta
lot of
find
people that
happy.
celebrate when those people go home, right?
That's
So-
true. That's true. I think it's really, you've got to appreciate both worlds and compensate for both. So
Yeah.
we do our best to, like I said, bring in from outside of the area, but also focus on our fine community that we've got.
Okay, so now we're running short on time.
Okay.
But real quickly, you're working on a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
Choose Camdenton, which is promoting relocating here.
Yes,
Right.
it's relocating to Camdenton, not only for our residents, but also trying to attract new businesses too. Camdenton, if you haven't heard latest, there is a lot of great things coming to that city. The city of Camdenton has done an amazing job recruiting, and so the Chamber just wants to support those efforts as well. And so we've got our Economic Development Committee that's working hard to develop this great new website that both the city and the Chamber can use to help promote our community.
Okay, there you go. And do you welcome people getting in contact with you
Oh,
as a
absolutely.
chamber leader? Do you just like to hear from the regular people, or how does that work?
So get
Or
a little more specific
just
on your
businesses
episode. Oh
or
goodness, no,
residents
we
or-
get them all. So we
Okay.
take calls. Believe it or not, the Chamber is like what we used to call the yellow pages. I mean, people use us for anything and everything. We could recreate a book of the calls that we get, but we do our best to answer those questions. I mean, we provide referrals. We are a membership-driven organization,
Right.
so when we do get a phone call asking for a particular service, we do refer our members and our members only.
Okay. So
but
how do people get in touch with you?
so they can call us at the Camdenton Chamber at
Okay.
346-2227, area code 573.
Right.
You could always visit our website. We have an online directory that you can access to view all the different 400 plus businesses that belong to our chamber. So that's camdentonchamber.com. And then our Facebook. We try to keep that up to date on what's happening, what's coming up. We share our ribbon cuttings and other events that we do. We do host some networking socials because we know, being the lake community, we all like to socialize and gather. So we host events like that too, specifically for our members to connect and engage.
Well, thank you for dropping by talking to us. We
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having me, Chris. I appreciate it too.